Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy, the Strongest Wizard, and tonight is indeed Fight Night, and we got my boy Cheeseburger Eddie on the left-hand side, rocking out the Trafalgar Law, as well as Keith on the right, of course, with that Blurple Kaido. And if you don't know what this leader does, with one Dawn attached to him once per turn, when you KO a character, you ramp one Dawn. It can be by effect, it can be by battle. You just are able to set one Dawn as active. So pretty good here. And you see him dropping the Who's Who, essentially, which is essentially the Nami of the deck, grabbing any Animal Pirates card, which is pretty good here. So we have Cheeseburger Eddie here now. Tapping 2 is what it looks like. Well, first 5k swing going into life. Does Keith take it? And he does. But quick shout out to today's sponsor, which is DXN Outpost, DXN Provisions, the only place where I get all my sealed product. And right now, guys, with all of the OP06 hype coming around, that Yamato, that new Germa 66 release, your boys at DXN have pre-orders available. So if you're interested in any pre-orders for cases or boxes, check the link down below. So we saw Cheeseburger Eddie here dropping down that Nami, and Keith starting off here with his turn 2. What does he want to do? We see a 5k swing going into life, and Eddie does end up taking that. And it looks like we're going to tap 1 here for possibly another Who's Who. Yes, searching top 5 for another card. Definitely, the Who's Who's definitely helping this deck out with some consistency. Grabbing that 10 cost Kaido. Also kind of crazy, there's all the top end Kaidos are in this deck, which is kind of cool. You have the removal, the bounce, you have literally all types of Kaidos in here. But of course we saw that stage coming down and passing turn. Cheeseburger Eddie dropping another Curly to grab another Chopper. This man is searching. Tapping 1 here for a beige, and it looks like he wants to shambles or possibly swing. Yes, swinging first here, 5k swing going into life. He's gonna counter out of it with a 1k, I believe, and then shambles here using Nami ability to swing 7k into life, and he does end up taking it. Passing turn. Now we have Onigashima out, so being able to ramp Dawn every single turn, getting 3 Dawn every turn is absolutely insane. On top of that, we have leader ability. I feel like even with Onigashima out, do we really need the leader ability because of how much you're really ramping? But 4 Dawn a turn is kind of nice. So let's see exactly how Keith is going to approach this turn and this board, honestly. The good thing is that we haven't seen any Bonnies, so we are assuming here that Eddie just doesn't have any green blocker laws or Bonnies, because he would have been searching by now, those characters. So hopefully for Keith's sake, Eddie kind of has a brick hand. But it looks like we're gonna be swinging. It looks like he wants to swing 7k, 6k into that Luffy, and Eddie is going to counter out of it with that Law. And now we see Onigashima tapping it to ramp another Dawn, and then we actually see the Red Rock bottom decking Luffy here, not giving Eddie the satisfaction of keeping that bad boy alive. So now Eddie here, he's got a good amount of Dawn active now, but we're gonna see a straight 7k swing going into Kaido, and we're gonna see an 8k counter, and it looks like we're gonna attach 2 swing 5k into lead here. And all we need is a 1k, so most likely if we got out of a 7, we're gonna get out of a 5, so we're gonna trash that queen to get out of there. Tapping 2 for a Brook to give 2 to another Curly, swinging 5. That one does end up going through, and then passing turn. And now Keith is already at 1 life, which is extremely unfortunate for Keith, because Cheeseburger Eddie, he's at 3 life, and this is kind of looking kind of rough. Eddie, with having so much life, is a very good look right now. So we're gonna attach 1 here onto lead, swing Who's Who, letting it die here, and then tapping 5 for that queen to draw 2, trash 1. It looks like Keith did forget to trash 1, but he does end up trashing it in a second. So 3k swing into that Curly, it does go down, being able to ramp 1 because he did kill that Curly, and now we saw him trashing that Almost Sunday for that queen ability finally. But we see a 6k swing going into life, and Eddie takes it, now going out to 2 life, and then tapping 2 for that Black Maria. If you don't know what Black Maria does, she's just a 2k blocker. That's all she is, just a vanilla 2k blocker. But now we have queen, which is actually very, very helpful for us because we all know that Law loves to swing 5Ks. So we see the Curly here coming down once again, grabbing another chopper. I mean, this man has to have 1-cost blockers. He has to have all of them in his hand. I don't know. So he's going to go ahead and drop another one. We're going to see a 7k swing going into life. We're going to block it with the queen and then drop a 2k counter for it. And now I'm assuming we either see another 5k swing with that Brook, or we're going to use leader ability here to shambles. And yes, we see a 5k swing with Brook here going into lead. We have to counter out of it or block it, and we're going to take the block here. Tapping 2 to shambles, bringing back that Brook to throw down that Law. Unfortunately, nothing is able to unsuspend, but it is just a 6k body on the board. So not too bad. And if he does have another restand Law in his hand, that's another target for restand Law. So very, very good here. Keith is at his 10 Dawn already, so let's see exactly how Keith wants to approach this. Obviously with this deck, a lot of his cards are super top heavy, but we need to get rid of some of these characters here. We're gonna attach one here, and it looks like we're going to see the 9 cost coming down, minusing 5 Dawn here to pop that Law. We're going to use Kaido's ability because he just popped a character to regain 1 life. He's going to tap into Gishima to grab another Dawn. So we just ramped 2 Dawn. So it really only costed him 3. And we did see a double swing here, and now Cheeseburger Eddie is already at 1 life. And finally we see the Bonnie Search most likely grabbing that off life or the top deck. Do we see Blocker Law? Does Cheeseburger Eddie find the sauce? My man, let's see. And no, we see Hawkins actually. Hawkins, very interesting. It is not a Law, but nonetheless, it's a very good card in any matchup. So we're going to use leader ability here to attach 1 onto Law. Do we want to attach any more to the leader here? We're going to attach 2 and swing 5k into life here. We're going to block it with 6, an easy 6k block here. Attaching another one, so making it a 7k swing into leader here. We have to drop 2 cards from a hand, or we just take it, and Keith just takes it, saying I don't want to lose my whole entire hand for this. And it looks like we're going to shambles here, bringing back that Curly. And what do we see? We see that Hawkins, which we already knew was going to happen here. And we're going to tap 2 Dawn here to throw down 1 chopper as well as another 1-cost blocker in the form of Beige. And so now we're pretty much at I believe our 9 Dawn. Yeah, I think I can count correctly. We are now at 9 Dawn, which is kind of nice, since we just did 9 cost Kaido last turn, which is the benefit of this leader, of course. And here's the thing: 3 blockers plus Hawkins. Hawkins is a huge threat. Keith can set up 2 blockers next turn, and honestly, it really doesn't matter because that character right there can handle a lot of blockers. Being able to restand when attacking a character is super good. So yeah, let's see here exactly how Keith wants to approach this. We know he has the 10 cost Kaido, and we know unfortunately that he's unable to play it because he only has a 9 Dawn, and he's unable to ramp and play it because he's gonna have to attach 1 onto leader here. So let's see here exactly how Keith wants to approach this. Obviously this is a bit of a big think turn. This turn is literally life or death for my man Keith here. And so it looks like he is planning on committing. Yes, we see him committing 1 Dawn and swinging Who's Who into the Bonnie, and it does go down here. He is unable to ramp because he is already fully at his or he's now able to ramp because he's at his 10 now. So so now he has 9 active Dawn thanks to that leader ability. And let's see, I mean, we see that Paulie in his hand. Is he going to want to play something like that? I think we have to get rid of that Hawkins, though. That's the issue. But we're going to tap 5 here, and it looks like for that Paulie being able to remove that chopper, which is really nice. And we're going to see a 6k swing going into life. Yeah, 6k swing going into life. We're going to see a 2k counter. We're going to see a 10k swing going into life. And Eddie's going to take it here going down to 0 life. And it looks like we're going to pass turn. Of course, that Queen is our only blocker at the moment, so there's absolutely no way that that my man Keith can do it. So there is a couple options here. It looks like Eddie's gonna tap 2 to attach it to the Hawkins here. Honestly, Eddie could have also swung 16 into life, and Keith either would have had to answer that or counter out of it, because if he blocks with the queen, he's gonna have to restand. Of course, with 2 done up, it is a bit scary, but kind of feel like Keith would have been, Eddie would have been kind of safe doing that. But yeah, we'll see here. We'll see. So it looks like he's going to attach, looks like 5, so maybe like a 10 or 11k swing. We'll find out right now here. But we're gonna see the blast breath giving it +4, and it looks like we're gonna see 2 2ks coming down to counter out of that. So I do still think he probably would have won if he would have just attached 16. I don't think he wouldn't be able to get out of that, plus the 5k swing from Law. But yeah, we'll see here how this turns out. And then we see the 7k swing going into live. He's going to block that, tapping 1 for another chopper, leaving 1 up. And now we know he has the radical beam because we did see it earlier in his hand. At least I did. But we see the 10 cost Kaido being able to bounce both blockers. We see a 5k swing going into life, 1k counter. He has 1 blocker. We're going to see a 10k swing going into life. He's going to block the chopper, 6k swing into life. And yes, we see the radical beam, and that is going to be game. Absolutely no way he ends up winning there. So congrats to Cheeseburger Eddie for winning that. And thanks so much for checking out the channel in this video. I really do appreciate it. And stay tuned because I have a ton of new OP04 content coming out soon. See ya!